Okay, guys. Don't worry about that. Alright, you guys, I've started the record. I'm going to start this record, but I'm going to tell you that we're doing it in a second. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome. How is everyone today? Well, good? Great. Busy? Yeah. Well, thank you for making time for this. It's great. You guys already know who I am, but I thought just before we get started, let's go around and introduce ourselves. So, can we start with you, please, Isabella? Great. Well, welcome. Nice to meet you. And Jude. Hi. Good. You too. Great. Great. And last but not least, Lee. Hello. Wow. Okay, that must be hectic. Okay, well, we've got a bit to get through, but let's get started, hey? We'll try and get it happening. So there's a few things I have to let you guys know before we start. First of all, we are recording the training today, so hopefully everyone's okay with that. And if anyone needs access to that at a later date, that'll be available for anyone who wants it as well. Just wanted to make sure everyone received their handouts and all the other documents that I've sent, and that you've read them and you've done all the pre-course instructions. Yes, everyone says yes to that, that's great. Alright, great. So everyone's got Google Chrome downloaded, great. Alright, and everyone got the workstation setup instructions from WorkSafe Australia. So hopefully we've got our workstation set up ergonomically. It's really part of our workplace health and safety. That when we do online training, it's one of the things to keep us, help keep us safe and injury free, is having our station set up properly. So has everyone had a look at that document and made sure that they're comfy and everything's good? Fantastic. Okay, what else have I got to tell you guys? Yeah, and just as far as privacy goes, and to limit distractions, we just want to make sure everyone's phones are turned off, please. And if we don't mind, if you guys could blur your backgrounds on your videos for me, please. Yeah. Could you please blur your video background? Thank you. That's great. And one of the things we're going to try and do today too is when we're not speaking, trying to remember to mute our mics, and then also try and remember to unmute them when you do want to speak. Please, if there's any questions at any stage, please don't hesitate to ask. You can use the So, Isabella. Yeah. I'm sorry you do. I understand that you don't want to be on video, but it's firstly it's for security and we can see that you are who you are. And also it helps us really understand what you're saying better when we can see your face and all your non-verbal communication stuff. So yeah, I'm afraid we need you on video as well, so thank you. Great. If we can turn our microphones off when we're not speaking, that will help. Just while we're doing other things, just so we don't all have our mics on together. So we try and limit distractions as much as we can. Great. Yeah, the other health and safety thing, just to quickly mention, is make sure everyone protects their devices with passwords. We take security pretty seriously, so we don't want any unauthorized access to anything we do here. Also, no sending any of this stuff, anything personal, images, videos or anything. Please don't put it on social media or anything like that. Great. What else have we got here? Yeah, well, like I said, please don't hesitate to ask any questions at any time. There's no stupid questions, okay? I'm going to quickly share my PowerPoint screen with you guys. Just give me a second here. Here we go. Can everyone see that? All right. Okay, so why are we here and what are we looking at today? Research using the internet. The outcome, the learning objectives today, to use the internet to conduct research, which is what you do at work, confirm and plan to complete research, a research work task as per your work requirements and your policy and procedures, and then we're going to document and present the information that we've collected according to task requirements. So that's what we're learning in these two sessions. Today there'll be two 30-minute sessions, session 1 and session 2. We can have a short break between them, just, probably only about 5 minutes, just to have a bathroom break and a quick drink. And then this third session will be the assessment, which will last for about 30 minutes. It'll comprise of a knowledge and a practical assessment task, but we'll talk about that when we get in a bit more detail when we get there. But so yeah, we've got our phones turned off. We've gone through all the workplace health and safety stuff. So let's get started. Okay, internet in the workplace. So what do we use the internet for? You can see on the screen here, communicate with others, messaging, email, all that sort of stuff. Access online tools and software. Maybe accounting stuff or video editing, or there's numerous sorts of online tools and software that we may use. Back up and store data on the internet instead of the cloud. Undertake training, professional development, doing training courses exactly like we're doing now. Access news and industry updates, and the very bottom one, research and gather information, which is exactly what we're doing today. So, great. All right, legislation and regulations. Every business in Australia has to abide by federal, state and local laws when it comes to how we use the internet. And that is outlined in these particular acts you can see on screen at the moment. So businesses need to implement and communicate these acts somehow to their staff, and the way they do that is with the policy and procedures. So I included our internet and email usage policy and procedure in some of the documents I sent you beforehand, so you should have that, and you'll need that to complete some of our assessment later on, just as a heads up. But so policy and procedures is just a set of rules and guidelines that govern how employees interact with the internet at work, to create a safe and productive and respectful work environment, and adhere to all the legal requirements. So, the two most relating to the internet today, as far as policy and procedure go, is one called internet usage, internet and email usage, and the other one, which might be applicable, is workplace health and safety. Excuse me. There is a copyright one, which I sent you the link to before the course as well, which is quite related to stuff we research on the internet, copyright. So yeah, they're the main three that you'll need to know. yeah. So what does internet policy contain? It tells us what is the acceptable use of internet at work, who's allowed to have access to it, can you connect your personal devices to your company at work, websites that aren't allowed, obviously adult websites are frowned upon, things like gaming and stuff at work. There's a lot that we don't want you accessing at work, obviously. Security measures, how we handle sensitive information. Like I said before, we're very conscious about privacy when it comes to our staff and our internet usage. So, protecting passwords, don't share information to people you shouldn't be sharing information with, that sort of thing. And we do have an IT department that monitors and logs the internet use by our employees. So, Okay. Internet browsers. Everyone's used internet browsers before, I'm sure, to search on the internet. Does anyone have a favourite? Chrome. Chrome is the most popular. Probably 65% of people in the world use Chrome. So it's that is definitely a good one. Anyone else? A Chrome person? Yeah. Great. All right. Well, Edge. Yeah. Great. Edge is good. You can see a list on the left there for we've got Google Chrome. Mozilla Firefox is a good one. I used to use that. Microsoft Edge, like Lee just said. Safari. If you've got a Mac, you've probably used Safari at some stage. Opera. There's a whole bunch, right? And what do they do? And what's the difference between a browser and a search engine? Because they often get confused. So a browser is an application that is used to access the internet, basically, and a search engine is a website within a browser that finds information using search terms and keywords and queries and that sort of thing. So many browsers have search engine inbuilt. For instance, Google. A lot of them do. So yeah. Let's just might just have a quick look at the search engine slide. We just talked about that a bit. So like I said, Google is also a search engine. Some other popular ones are Bing, Yahoo. Okay, so DuckDuckGo is one I particularly like. They all have different advantages and disadvantages. Does you want to know what, say, DuckDuckGo's difference might be compared to something like Google? Well, the thing with DuckDuckGo is it's really privacy based. It won't track your location or your history. Which is great when it comes to privacy. A lot of people love to use DuckDuckGo for that reason. Google, the downside to that is it may not give you as relevant search results because Google is tracking your history and your location. So if you're searching, for instance, to buy a certain product, they can give you, they know what you've already been looking for, they know where you are, so they can give you location-based answers. So there is an upside to Google tracking you and giving you advertisements and all that sort of stuff, which DuckDuckGo doesn't do. So there's pros and cons between both of them. So I'm just going to quickly have a quick look at Google here. Where are we? Yeah, okay, so let's go back to Google's homepage here. So I'm sure you guys have seen this before, but this is our search bar. That's where we type our search queries in, which we'll look at a bit closer in a minute. Let's have a look at some flowers here. Let's put flowers in. So this is our results. They're based on an algorithm inside Google that rates them depending on their content, how legitimate and credible, like what the sources. It rates them by sources. Like I say, in Google, it can give you location-based results and things. Up the top here we have what's called tabs. Very good thing about tabs is you can have a whole lot of things open within the one window, so it's very quick and easy to get back to information that you've searched for before. And plus we have a bunch of filters or tools across here. So we're in all at the moment. If you want to particularly search for images, you've got that. You can search if you wanted to buy something. Shopping is particularly useful. Just go back here. You can also search by video, news. You can search by a whole lot of stuff. Just using those filters within the Google app itself without doing anything special at all. Oops. Sorry, let me get back here. Yeah. Has anyone got any questions about particular search engines or any tips that you guys like to use when you're searching? Yeah. 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 Great. Me too. I love that. Great. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, great, and that's really great. The whole AI thing at the moment is it's another training session in itself, really, but it's fantastically handy. Excuse me 1 second. We're going to do a short little activity at the moment. Have a bit of research all together. I've also forgot to mention you can voice search as well, particularly handy for people maybe with disabilities or things like that who aren't great at typing or whatever. You can use your voice to search. Yeah, I think that's all I need to say about that. Just before we do our little search result, let me go back to PowerPoint for a second here. Search terms. So what's the best way to start our search? We want to be specific, so we want to put keywords in that describe our topic, as close as we can. Don't be too general about it. Really try and be as specific as possible. And most of the advanced search tools that we'll get to later on, that's basically what they're doing, is trying to narrow your search down to be as specific as possible. Incorporate synonyms or related terms. Not everyone uses the same words to describe the same thing. Maybe an example would be if you're searching for a car, you might try and use the word or automobile, or basically try different phrases. Try a lot of different things to get to the results you want. Like we talked about, use the filters provided by the search engine. Narrow things down and experiment. Don't be afraid to use different combinations of search terms to get the result that you need. It's amazing what comes up. Sometimes depending on what you enter into that query field. So fantastic. All right, we are going to do a little bit of searching. Everyone's going to do a little bit of searching now. So I've already checked that you guys have Google Chrome downloaded with Bing and DuckDuckGo. So let's, excuse me guys, just 1 second. I just want to check the recording. Sorry about that, all good. All right, so we're going to do this activity, it's what's called synchronously, so all in the main room together, and we're going to search the history of chocolate. So if I can get you guys to all please, yeah, please just open the history of chocolate in all three of your We actually choose, you can choose either Google, Bing or DuckDuckGo. Search history of chocolate, and let's have a chat about it when you've done that and see if we can see any differences between search browsers, search engines I should say. So go ahead and start doing that, guys. How are we going? Isabella, how are you going? Good? Which one? Oh yes? Is that right? Fantastic. How so? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Great. Yep. Yeah, awesome. Great. What about you, Jude? How are you going? Wow. Interesting. Big difference there. Wow. And Levy? What about you, Lee? Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, I bet. Wow. Definitely. To prepare for war. Amazing. Well done, guys. So that's good. Our second activity, we're going to actually break up into. Excuse me, we're just recording at the moment. Oh, no, thank you. Sorry about that. We're going to break up into some breakout rooms, and we're going to try and refine our search by using some of those tools that we had a look at before. So why don't we learn a one, which is Isabella. Why don't you see what you can come up with images wise? Jude, why don't we look at maybe some books, and Lee, why don't we look at some shopping? So I'm going to put you guys into some breakout rooms now, and we'll come back and see you in a couple of minutes and see how you're going. Did everyone get the search tools I wanted you to use? Yeah, if you could use shopping, we're going to search the same topic. We're just going to try using the different tools that Google has to offer. So we're all going to use Google this time, but just use a different tool. So Isabella can use images, Jude books, and use shopping. If you get that done really quickly, feel free to use another tool as well, and we can have a chat about that. The more we can do, the more interesting it'll be. So I'm just going to put you guys into your rooms real quick. So I'll see you guys shortly. Bye bye. Hi Isabella. How you going? Mm-hmm. Oh, you narrow it down for children, for kids, yeah? Fan- Fantastic. Great. Sounds like you're doing well. I'll leave you there, and we'll see you soon back in the main room. Okay. Ah. Hey, Jude. Hey, how you going? All going well? Yeah? Which did... No, no, you go ahead, please. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Brilliant. Cool. Yeah. Right. Interesting. Yeah. All right. Thank you, mate. I'll see you soon back in the main room, huh? All right. Bye-bye. Hey, Lee. How you doing? Hi. Mm-hmm. Great. Sounds like you're great. Why don't I just hold you there? It all sounds really interesting, but I'll put you back into the main room so you can tell the other guys at the same time, right? Okay. All right. Hi, you guys. We're back. Nearly. We're just waiting for Lee. She should be here any second. I hope. Here she comes. Welcome back. Hi, guys. So that sounds like an interesting little search of chocolate. Just quickly, we'll just go around. We haven't got much time. But Isabella, how did you go? Mm-hmm. Mm. The thing about those tools is they can really take you to unexpected places sometimes. So it's quite interesting. Jude, how'd you go? What was your initial What was your initial search for again? From books. Yes. Interesting. Fantastic. And Levy? Mm-hmm. great. Interesting. Fantastic. Well done, guys. So, yeah, that's tools and how useful that can be. So, fantastic. So on we go. I'll make sure you'll still see my PowerPoint, are you not? Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. Reshare that. Here we go. You see my PowerPoint now, guys? Yeah, fantastic. All right. Research plan. So this one's a big one. This is definitely going to be part of the assessment. So this is about work task, and so before we start a research task at work, we want to make a research plan. If you look at page 10 of your handout, I have given you a research plan template, which is like a prompt to know what information to put in there. So if you want to look at page 10 of your handout, so this is the first thing you want to do, like I said, and it's going to contain all the info you need to carry out the research. And so it gives you a little framework of how you're going to go about conducting it, and then how to document it, I should say. So what does it contain? So you want what is the topic of your research? Who is involved? So like who are the stakeholders? For instance, who'll be reading it? Who's asked you to do it? Who cares about the results? Basically, like it might be who's ever asked you to do the research in the first place. So a stakeholder might be your manager and even people above him. Anyone who's going to be interested in the research that you come up with. So possibly colleagues, might even be board members. Anyone who has an interest in the task that you're about to do. That's what the stakeholders are. Thank you. So where are we up to? Yeah, so you've got who's involved, who are the stakeholders, what's the objective of your research, so what exactly do you need to present, at the end of all this, what online resources you're going to need, so what browser and search engine you might use, where you're going to gather this information, for instance, maybe government departments, retail outlets, depending on what your research task is, the types of places where you're going to go to gather this research, and what terms you plan to use. Like we just sort of did then, there's a big difference depending on what search term you put in. So yeah, that's what a research plan is for you. It's a pre-research task document that you want to fill out before you actually get started. Decided on conducting research. So conducting research. And we've done our plan. The next step is we want to conduct it. So, effective techniques for conducting internet research include use search engines effectively. Basically, that's what we've been doing so far. Access different types of sources. Every source has a unique perspective. So. The many sources you can cross-reference, the more accurate your research is going to be. Organise your findings. Make sure you're always taking notes because you're going to present this at the end as well. So you want to be taking notes as you go. Cite your sources. Very important to cite any authors, your web addresses, your URLs, dates. Sorry, URL is just a web address. It's like the web address of any website, the www dot, that is a URL. Top of my head, I can't remember exactly what it stands for. If anyone knows, please speak up. But yeah, I will find that out before the end of the training and let you know exactly what that means. But basically, the address of the website is a URL. The other things that are important are the dates. just how old the document is and how old the site is you're getting information from, because information changes over time, obviously, so we want the most recent stuff. But also the date you accessed it is quite important to notate as well. Respect copyright. We talked a little bit about copyright P&P before, which we have, and you guys have access to. Always give proper credit to the author. Yeah, just respect copyright in general. And respect sensitive data. Security protocols, we talked about passwords already. Just be very careful about sensitive data, who has access to it, where you're sending it, that sort of thing. Limit distractions, that's pretty obvious one. Like we're doing now, we have the door shut, we have the pets outside, we have the screen blurred, all that sort of thing, just to keep us focused on the task. And there's this acronym called SMART, S-M-A-R-T, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So that's a good thing to help you remember the framework of conducting good research. Be specific, make sure you really define what you're actually after, be precise, make sure it's not too broad. Has to be measurable, so you don't know if it's achieved or not, so you need it to be, the objective has to be, you need to assess what outcome you actually want, so you can measure whether you reach it or not, if that makes sense. It has to be achievable, should be realistic and feasible. Make sure you have enough resources, enough time, and don't make the scope too wide, so make sure it's achievable. And relevant, the objective should be directly related to the overall task. It's very easy to get sidetracked on the internet, as we all know, so make sure you keep it relevant. So great. Yeah, it's time bound, sorry. Yeah, set specific time limits, helps us stay on track and monitor our progress. Yeah, any questions so far? Anyone? I just wonder if you have any questions so far? Oh, sorry, okay. No worries. Yeah, if everyone's got a little bit of distractions, just try and keep that to a minimum if we can, because we still have a lot to get through. So let's try not to be looking at our phones or any emails or anything like that if we can, guys. Appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, we're nearly there. So we've made our plan, we've conducted it, and now we need to present it, either a written report or verbally. In your handout on page 10 again, there's an example of an email report. We have style guides in place as one of our policy procedure, is how we like people to structure their emails. And you have that policy procedure on internet usage and email policy to help guide you there. All these policies, by the way, are available either on the company intranet or on an accessible hard drive on your computer, a shared drive. So if you need to know where to find those policies, that's where they'll be. So written reports, like I said, it's often an email form. The goal is to be as clear and concise as possible while still being complete and containing all the necessary information. You can see some of the tips here. Organise your main points, make sure it's clear, structure your writing, use plain English, try not to be repetitive, keep things short, don't waffle on too much, edit and revise your stuff afterwards, and read it aloud to yourself. It really helps to know if it's making sense. Verbally, sometimes it's just to your manager, or it might be to a group of colleagues. So have a think about what you want to say before you say it. It's always good to practice any kind of verbal speech or anything. Make sure it's all in logical sequence so it's easy to understand. Again, don't waffle. Non-verbal body language is a big one. we say a lot without saying anything. So just keep that in mind. And make sure you project so everyone can hear you. So that's that. Any questions? Okay, great. We're nearly there for session 1, you guys. Let's have a quick look at what we've talked about so far. Isabella, what browser or tool or filter could you use if you were looking to purchase your search result? You could? That'd be a great one to use. Well done. Jude, what browser function do you use? You want to have several pages open in the same window for easy access later on. That's right. Yeah, correct. Well done. And Lee, can you give us an explanation of what actually is a research plan? Yeah, and how you're going to go about doing that research, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah, good. All right, nice job, guys. That's us for session 1. Again, any questions, anybody? We're all good? Fantastic. All right, guys, that's well done, everyone. We're going to have a short 5-minute break so everyone can have a bit of a stretch their legs, maybe grab a quick drink, have a toilet break, and we'll see you guys back here in 5 minutes. Is that okay with everyone? I'm going to keep the recording going, but if everyone wants to mute their video and their microphone just for a bit of privacy for 5 minutes, that's fine. And we'll see you back in 5. Bye.